Love isn't always loud. Most of the time it whispers. It creeps into daily routines, seeps into small gestures, shapes the quiet moments between words and plans. When someone truly chooses you, it isn't usually announced with fanfare or dramatic declarations. Instead, it's revealed slowly through actions born out of real intention, those that don't need an audience or applause, but simply arise from the desire to build something meaningful together. In today's fast-paced world, words can feel cheap, occasional, or even performative. Messages are sent, likes are given, declarations are made, and sometimes they mean everything. But often, what becomes most valuable is not what someone says, but what they show, through consistency, consideration, prioritization, emotional availability, trust, and respect. When someone lives as though you matter, you start to feel it, in your gut, in your resting peace of mind, in how you behave and how you forgive, how you grow. To be chosen doesn't mean being idolized or put on a pedestal. It doesn't require perfection or living without mistakes. What it means is being valued, as you are, with your flaws, your dreams, your needs, your quirks, your fears, and your strengths. Being chosen means someone would rather walk through the chaos with you than walk on after it. The person who chooses you holds space for you in both the ordinary and extraordinary chapters of life. Every relationship tells a story. Some convince with drama, others persuade with quiet persistence. The kind worth keeping doesn't demand constant noise to prove itself. Instead, it reveals itself in small but telling details: how time is spent, how attention is given, how choices are framed, how emotional safety is maintained. Over time, the small things accumulate, messaging becomes redundant, and you begin to trust not only the words, but the silences, the patterns, the reliability of someone being truly present. In what follows, you'll find 12 signs that show someone has emotionally, practically, and subconsciously chosen you, even if the words "I choose you" are never spoken. These are not checklist rituals or rigid rules. They're reflections of behavior that consistently point toward real affection, respect, and investment. If you see these signs unfolding in your relationship, they can help you confirm what your heart may already know: that you matter deeply and are not just an option, but a priority. He always makes time for you, no matter how busy he is. When a man truly values you, his actions become the loudest language he speaks. No matter how demanding his schedule is, he finds a way to carve out moments for you. It's not about grand gestures or elaborate plans. It's about presence. He might be swamped with deadlines, stuck in traffic, or juggling responsibilities, but you'll notice he still checks in, even if it's just a simple "How was your day?" message. Time becomes his way of showing commitment, not the leftover minutes, but the intentional ones. When a person prioritizes you, it's never accidental. He may cancel plans with friends, delay a meeting, or lose sleep just to make sure you feel seen and valued. Even when words fail, his consistency speaks volumes. He doesn't use busy as a shield to keep distance. He uses it as a reason to come closer, to remind you that despite everything on his plate, you are part of what keeps him grounded. You'll notice it in the smallest things: the way he remembers your stories, the way he listens even when tired, or how he insists on hearing your voice before bed. These are not random acts. They are choices. Choices that say, "You matter more than my comfort, my rest, my convenience." It's easy to give time when life is calm, but when he offers it amid chaos, it means you've become more than a priority. You've become part of his purpose. He's not measuring love in hours spent together, but in effort. Real affection is shown in the sacrifice of time, the one thing we can't get back. And when he gives it freely to you, it's because in his heart, you already belong there. He remembers small details about your life without being asked. When someone truly cares, they keep your story alive even when you're not reminding them what it is. It shows up as remembering the little things, not because they have to, but because they want to. You might mention casually that your mom always makes your favorite tea, or that you once saw a dress you liked but didn't buy. A person who remembers will bring up that detail days or weeks later. "Hey, I saw the same kind of tea the other day," or "That dress you liked was on sale. I thought you might want to see it." These moments show he listens, really listens, rather than just waiting for his turn to speak. It's not about being perfect or flawless. Sometimes he may get things wrong or the detail may come out slightly off. But what matters is the effort. You sense he's paying attention. He doesn't need to be reminded of every small preference, birthday story, or favorite detail, because he already has them tucked away. This remembering builds a sense of safety. You feel seen. You feel like your life isn't just a blur or background noise to him, but something he cares about. When he mentions something from your past, something that wasn't a big deal at the time, it means he values your history, your thoughts, your taste. It means you are important enough for memories to matter. His actions show consistency, not just occasional gestures. Consistency is the quiet proof that feelings are real, not a one-time show, but a pattern. When someone truly cares, their behavior isn't inconsistent or occasional. Instead, you see a steady flow of thoughtfulness, respect, and engagement over time. It's easy for anyone to plan a surprise dinner, write a sweet message, or send flowers, but sustaining warmth and consideration in everyday life is what matters. When a man shows up again and again and checking in, making plans, listening, defending you, being honest, even when there's no audience and no reward, that consistency signals genuine intent. You notice it in small daily rhythms. He calls you just to hear your voice, not because something dramatic happened. He consults you before major decisions. He respects your time and boundaries. He keeps promises and doesn't make excuses. If there's a period of emotional distance, he doesn't disappear without explanation. He works to come back. If he says he'll do something, meet you, help you, support you, he follows through. Consistency also means you don't feel like you're always chasing his attention or affection. Instead, those things are more often offered freely. You start to trust that he'll be there. Not just when things are easy, but when they're messy too. You begin to believe his words because you've seen them match his actions over many moments. In some, when you don't just see occasional grand gestures, but you feel the relationship in the everyday. That's how you know he cares in a way deeper than surface level. He introduces you to important people in his life. When someone lets you into their inner circle, they're trusting you. It's not just about, here's my mom, dad, friends, but a deeper statement that says, this is who I am when I'm not alone, and I want you to see that side too. You're allowed behind the curtain. This action helps reduce ambiguity in the relationship. If he hides that side of his life from you, important people, routines, obligations, that can leave you wondering where you really stand. But when he shares it, it shows he's not compartmentalizing you as a just-for-fun part of his life. You're clearly becoming part of the bigger picture. You also get clues about his values, history, and how he behaves outside your time together, how he treats his parents, how he interacts with his siblings or friends, how much respect or loyalty shows up in those relationships. All of that helps you see what your relationship might grow into. Bringing you into his important relationships isn't usually accidental or casual. It tends to happen when he's comfortable, sees you as part of his life going forward, and wants you to connect with what's important to him. He shares his future plans and sees you in them when he talks about what's coming next. Work, travel, moving, life goals, and you hear your name as part of those plans. Something significant is happening. He's not just imagining what he wants. He's imagining what you together could become. It could sound like casual remarks at first. I might take that course next year. Maybe you'll want to join me. Or, I'm thinking of moving closer to the city. Would you be okay with that? But it grows deeper. He includes you in conversations about money, place to live, family events, even how weekends could look in future. These remarks aren't flippant. They reflect real thought. He's mapping a version of his life where you play an active part. This isn't about grand declarations only. It's subtle. Sometimes it's in the way he weighs decisions. If you're happy with traveling, I might take that job which lets me travel more. Sometimes it's in the quiet assurance. He doesn't need to say, I see you in my future, explicitly, because his planning already involves that. You overhear it, sense it, internalize it. If you're wondering how serious he is, pay attention to how much input he seeks from you about plans. If he asks your opinion, listens when you say what you want, and adjusts accordingly, it means he isn't just planning life solo. He's building it with you. When plans are made, you shouldn't feel like an afterthought or an option. You should feel like part of his blueprint. And the more often he frames decisions in terms of we, our, and us, the more it shows he's already chosen you, even if he hasn't said the words yet. 6. He supports you emotionally in both good and bad times. When someone genuinely cares, they're not just around for the easy moments, they're there when things are messy too. Emotional support isn't occasional. It's consistent, attentive, and kind. You'll notice him listen first. Not just hearing your words, but really absorbing them, the tone, the hesitation, what's left unsaid. He doesn't rush to fix everything. Sometimes he sits in silence with you, letting you express doubt, frustration, fear, excitement. He holds space for whatever you're feeling without judgment. In good times, your wins, your joys, he celebrates. He is genuinely happy for you, sometimes more excited than you are. He remembers the moment, brings it up later, shows that your happiness matters to him. He doesn't act jealous, dismissive, or indifferent when your life is flourishing. Instead, he encourages, compliments, and shows pride in you. In bad times, when you mess up, when you're stressed, anxious, sad, or upset, he doesn't disappear. He shows up. He might send supportive messages, check in frequently, offer help without being asked. He doesn't keep score or bring up past mistakes to prove a point. He stays present, understanding, and sometimes even vulnerable himself, showing that you're not alone in coping. You sense safety with him. You trust him not because of grand promises, but because he has shown up. You feel like you can bring your whole self, flaws, fears, ambitions, and he still treats you with care. When emotional support happens both in sunshine and storms, it's a strong sign you matter to him deeply, not just as someone nice to be with, but as someone he wants to have in his life through thick and thin. He defends you or stands up for you in your absence when someone really values you. Their loyalty shows even when you're not around. If he defends you or stands up for you in your absence, it means he cares about how others see you and how you're treated, even if he isn't watching. Maybe someone says something insensitive about you. Maybe you're not there to respond. Maybe the group is making a misguided joke. He doesn't stay quiet or let it slide casually. He speaks up, corrects misconceptions, shows support, or at least pushes back. He doesn't wait for applause for doing what's right. This behavior says he respects your dignity. He sees you as someone worthy of protection, not just someone expendable or optional. He's willing to risk a little discomfort, a tough conversation, standing out, calling out bad behavior, because your honor matters to him. You notice this most in times when it's inconvenient, when he has nothing to gain by defending you, when there's no benefit, only the goodwill that comes from doing the right thing. That's when you see the strength of his feelings. All of this means you're more than just company or an accessory in his life. You're someone he wants to be proud of, someone he wants others to respect, and someone who matters enough that he won't stay silent when it counts. His body language shows comfort and trust around you when he's comfortable and trusts you. His nonverbal signals say it, often more clearly than words. Here are how those cues show up and why they matter. When he relaxes around you, his body softens. He doesn't stay rigid or over-controlled. He lets his posture drop into ease. He may lean back or recline slightly, sleep easier, or let his arms rest openly rather than defensively crossed. All this says he doesn't feel the need to guard himself. He feels safe. Eye contact becomes easier and more natural. He holds your gaze, looks into your eyes without awkwardness, and doesn't flinch away when you look at him. This comfort shows he doesn't fear scrutiny or judgment. His hands and arms often reveal trust. He may display open palm gestures, relaxed arms, or gentle touches. When hands are open, not clenched or hidden, it suggests openness, sincerity, and a willingness to connect. Marriage, he mirrors your movements sometimes, subconsciously matching posture, speech rhythm, or gestures. This mirroring isn't forced, but natural, and it signals emotional attunement. You're in sync. He reduces barriers. He stands or sits closer to you, doesn't keep large distances for no reason, often shifts his body to face you rather than at an angle. He may reach for your hand, offer support with a gentle touch on your shoulder or back. The physical closeness isn't a show, it's comfort. He doesn't seem anxious or fidgety around you. His gestures are calm, his facial expressions relaxed. If he moves slowly and with purpose, not rushes or jerks, it's likely he's not overly worried about your judgment. He's just being himself. All in all, this kind of body language isn't about acting. It's about relaxing into being yourself with someone who makes you feel safe. When you see these signals in him repeatedly, not just once or twice, you begin to sense that his comfort and trust are genuine, and you are important to him. He goes out of his way to make you feel special. When a man goes out of his way to make you feel special, it's rarely about the big gifts or elaborate dates. It's about effort. True affection shows up in the moments when no one's watching, when there's no obligation, and when doing something kind requires extra thought. He might drive across town just to bring you your favorite snack after a long day. Remember a date that means something only to you, or stay up late helping you finish something important. These things don't happen by chance. They're the result of intention, the quiet decision to put your comfort, happiness, or peace of mind above his own convenience. He doesn't do it to impress you. He does it because he wants you to feel valued, because somewhere deep inside he knows love is built on showing up, not showing off. You notice it in small gestures. He listens when you're venting, surprises you with little notes, fixes something you mentioned once without asking again, or pays attention to things others overlook. His effort communicates one thing clearly: you're worth the trouble. He doesn't mind adjusting plans or spending extra time if it means you'll smile. That kind of consistency separates a man who just likes you from one who truly chooses you. And when someone repeatedly goes out of their way, not because they have to, but because they want to, it means they've already placed you in a special place in their heart. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about making you feel that you matter, deeply and undeniably. 10. He communicates, even with silence, so that you feel secure. When communication isn't only about words, but about presence, timing, tone, and even silence, it becomes something you feel rather than just hear. He knows that you don't always need declarations. Sometimes you just need knowing. This kind of communication shows up when he checks in, not only on happy days, but on ordinary days, sleepy days, bad days. Sometimes it may be, "How's your afternoon going?" when he has no reason to ask, except that he wants you to know he's thinking of you. Sometimes it's him quietly pausing what he's doing to hear your voice, even if there's nothing urgent to say. Silence isn't a gap. It's part of the language. He doesn't vanish when things get tough or confusing. He stays. Even when he doesn't have the perfect answer, he shows up anyway. When you don't have to chase him to get clarity, when you feel at ease even in the quiet moments, that's a powerful form of communication. You trust him because you sense a pattern. He doesn't leave you in uncertainty for long. He doesn't ghost you emotionally. He doesn't withhold his feelings as punishment. In his presence, you feel safe. Your thoughts matter. Your concerns matter. Even when words fail, you can read the care in his behavior, in how he pauses, how he listens, how he misses you, how he returns. When communication works both in loud declarations and in silent understanding, it shows he sees you not as an option, but as someone essential. He's building security, not drama. Connection, not confusion. He accepts your flaws and still treats you as precious. When someone truly loves you, they don't build their affection on perfection. They build it on understanding. He sees the things you try to hide, your insecurities, your temper, the mistakes you've confessed with a trembling voice, and instead of pulling away, he draws closer. Acceptance doesn't mean he ignores your flaws. It means he sees them clearly and still chooses you. He doesn't use your weaknesses as weapons in arguments or reminders of your imperfection. Instead, he treats those parts of you as threads in the fabric of who you are, parts that make you real, human, and worthy of love. He might gently help you grow, but never by shaming or belittling you. He knows growth isn't forced through criticism. It's encouraged through patience and care. You'll notice that even during disagreements, his tone stays respectful. He argues to solve, not to wound. He still says we when it would be easier to say you. His affection doesn't vanish when you're having a bad day or when you fall short of expectations. He stands beside you through the messy, unfiltered moments, because in his eyes, those moments don't make you less precious. They make you real. This kind of love feels safe. You can exhale around it. You stop pretending to be perfect because you know you won't lose him for being honest. And in that quiet security, you find something rare. Someone who doesn't just love your best version, but loves the whole of you, exactly as you are. 12. He prioritizes your happiness sometimes over his own convenience. He's not always making sacrifices. but he's willing to when it matters. Maybe that means he gives up some personal comfort, changes plans, or spends extra time and energy, simply so you can feel seen, appreciated, or joyful. He doesn't treat your needs as burdens, but as part of the picture he wants to build. Sometimes it's small things, rearranging his schedule so you can meet, or staying late just to help you finish something. Other times it's bigger, choosing a job or path that allows more balance, even if it's a bit less lucrative. Being willing to travel, compromise, or share resources so your dreams or well-being aren't sidelined. What matters is the spirit behind it. It isn't about control, I'll do this so you owe me, or duty, I must, but about genuine desire to see you flourish. He wants your comfort, your joy, your sense of security, even if he has to bend a little. When you notice this isn't occasional, but part of who he is, you begin to understand that you're more than just a nice addition to his life. You're someone worth prioritizing. That's a strong signal. You're chosen, not just when it's easy, but even when it's slightly harder.